This video is brought to you by artofthetrek.com. Art of the Trek just recently released their public points of interest to their maps. Just simply go to the overlays menu on their maps and you have the ability to add campsites, trailheads, water sources, and scenic locations to their public map. This is an excellent feature to have as you can help out your fellow hikers in planning their trips and seeing public points of interest. So by simply clicking the overlays menu, selecting which point of interest you would like to add, and hitting the plus sign at the bottom, you can add that public point of interest. So Kevin's driving right now, and we're in Dolly Sods, and we're gonna add our favorite campsite that we always talk about in our Dolly Sods videos. Super easy to do. Just fill out some basic information and details about your point of interest, and then go ahead and add it. What's great about this too, to help encourage people to use this point of interest feature, if you contribute at least a dozen or so of these, Art of the Trek would be happy to send you a free swag bag. So hey, free swag is always great. Anyways, head on over to artofthetrek.com, check out this feature, and now let's get into the video.
And just like that, we're back.
Oh yeah, it feels good to be back in this basement that we're always in.
We are literally always in this basement. Thanks, COVID.
Yeah.
We are back. Another Talking Heads. And we're going to talk about the big three. That's an important thing to talk about.
Yeah, there hardly anybody out there talks about the big three.
Nobody's doing
There's
YouTube
no big-
videos on the big three.
There's no big three videos out there.
No, well, we're going to go through, we're going to talk about the big three, which ones are better for certain situations, you know, based on our feedback, you know, what might be better for you depending on what you're trying to get into and everything related to the big three, because it's the big three. It's important. They don't call them the big three for no reason. But first, you want to do the plug? The plugs.
Well, I want to first of all, I want to make a conscious effort. Like, please go to the Backcountry BSing channel. And
Hit subscribe for this channel.
We're moving the podcast over there.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell to all that.
I keep saying we're moving the podcast, but we're still having stream key issues.
The reason we're not, but we're also, we need more people to migrate.
It's all right. We're doing good. You did a great job. Buy some merch if you want to. Click the bell.
Yep.
Anything else?
Rate us on iTunes.
Rate us on iTunes. Yes, rate us on iTunes. And let's talk about the big three.
Yeah.
All right. First big three item we're going to talk about, the pack. The sexiest of the big three. That tent's probably the sexiest.
I would argue.
Which pack is better for a person?
That's almost an impossible question.
Well, we're going to break it down.
Yeah. So I think you got to figure out, like, first of all, the volume of your gear.
Okay.
How big is your gear? How much gear do you have? That type of thing. Because then you can start looking at packs.
Yep.
Obviously, if you're in some type of situation where you can try on packs, that is critical.
I think that's almost a necessity.
Yeah, and just so you know, shout out to Jason Wish. One time he drove to my house and tried on my Light AF pack just to make sure he liked it, and he tested it out around the block and ended up buying one. So if you have the means to try something on, you know, maybe you can go to a meetup, I don't know, go to your local outfitter, whatever, try on a pack. And then, you know, Kevin and I have multiple packs, and I have a pack with a smaller volume and I have a pack with a large volume. Obviously, the pack that I have that holds a larger volume, I guess I'll call the Swiss Army knife of packs.
More versatility.
Way more versatility. It can do anything and everything. So if I have one pack, it's going to have a larger volume, and it's relatively lightweight too. But I mean, trying something on and watching reviews are so critical, because then you can start figuring out like features that you want, like hip belts and like different accessories on the outside of your pack. It's just it's so personal preference, but like really, like if you can get your hands on something to try out, at least to get you started, especially as part of the big three.
What about frameless versus non-frameless? What are you saying?
I mean, it depends on how many packs you want to have. Like if you have to have one pack, you definitely want a framed pack.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
That's my opinion, just because of versatility. So you can carry heavier loads in the winter. You can carry, so what if you have a frame and with a light load in it? Doesn't really matter.
What about the material the pack's made out of?
Oh, it depends on how much money you want to drop, but
Like, should they get a Dyneema pack? Should they get a nylon pack?
I mean, it's all about budget, but obviously if you can afford something that's a little bit more water resistant or waterproof, I mean, that is the way to go. Don't assume that that's going to keep your stuff dry on the inside, but the more water resistant or waterproof your pack can be, I think it's better, and it's lighter too, which is helpful.
I like the Amy Rout talked about this. Like, if you're backpacking out in like Utah where it's sandstone everywhere, like Dyneema just degrades out there. So it's kind of an interesting point. Like, depending on where you backpack, maybe you just need a nylon pack, or you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just different for us. Dyneema works, or X-Pack works, but it's a consideration. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's going to be really expensive, but here's the great thing is with pack technology now, you're seeing prices come down, and you're also seeing nylon, different types of nylon coming out that's a lot lighter too.
Yeah, nylon's getting way better.
So you can still get a decently, like if weight is your thing, which you should, I mean, weight isn't everything obviously, but you should keep it in the back of your mind. Like you don't want to buy like a 12-pound pack. I mean, there's
12-pound pack.
Yeah.
There's packs that weigh 12 pounds.
Yeah. You get
those
some
bushcrafters.
You get some like heavy duty, like nylon, like, I don't know, maybe like a hunting pack, or it's got a real big frame in it or something like that. Yeah, we're not hunting elk with these packs.
No. Good considerations. All right, let's move on. So the rest of this, we're going to kind of split, right, between tents and hammocks. So we're going to do big three for tents, and we're going to do big three for hammocks. Andy will take the hammocks. I'll take the tents. So the next item of the big three is for me going to be the sleeping pad, and you'll talk about underquilts. So in terms of like which sleeping pad you should get, first you got to decide what the coldest temperature you're going to be backpacking at it. And if you're going to be someone who's doing routinely below 20 degrees, honestly, the only sleeping pad you can get is the X-Therm. I've slept on so many insulated sleeping pads. The Neo Air X-Therm is the warmest, and if you're routinely going below 20 degrees, that's honestly the only pad I can tell you to get. Now, most people watching this are not going to be winter backpacking. The best all-around pad I've slept on, and I have tons of videos on it, is we literally have so many videos on it. The Tensor, the Nemo Tensor. For the price, for the weight, I think it's the best all-around pad. I will say, if you're someone like me and you side sleep and you want a plusher, thicker pad that weighs a little bit more, the Neo Air Topo Luxe is also a good option. So in terms of what sleeping pad I think you should get, I've used 4 or 5 different sleeping pads in my life. If you're winter backpacking, X-Therm, best all arounds, the Tensor. If you want something more plush, thicker, side sleeper, Topo Luxe. I don't even know if I should get into pillows. That might have to be a different video.
That's not part of the big three.
It's part of your sleeping system. All right, so underquilts, what are you telling people to get?
So underquilts is a fun topic because I'm not really going to shout out a specific brand because there's tons of great brands like I guess I will shout out some brands. Enlightened Equipment, UGQ, Hammock Gear, great brands of underquilts, so you can check them all out. I think I'm more interested in temperature rating. So like if you had to buy one underquilt to kind of get you through most of the year, I'd recommend a 20-degree underquilt. You're going to be hot in the summer, and that's okay. You can just vent it a little bit more, but it's going to get you through fall. In Ohio, it's going to get you through most winter camping in Ohio. But if you just have to buy one underquilt and you want it to do most environments, that I'll say Midwest maybe, but that includes like Wisconsin, Minnesota.
You haven't touched on the length of the underquilt, which
I'm getting there.
Okay, I think that's more important than the temperature rating.
No, I don't know. Everybody always asks what temperature rating they should get. So if you have to buy one, get a 20-degree. You could convince me of a 30-degree, but I think 20 is a little bit more versatile. I am personally not a fan of any length underquilt that's below a full-length underquilt.
Have you ever used something?
Yeah.
Really?
I've used a 3/4 before. I used multiple in Canada, actually. I've used a 3/4 and I've used a one that just goes over like your lower back and your butt. And when it was really warm out, it was fine, but I definitely like felt you could feel it. You know, some people sleep in like the fetal position where maybe, you know, they're getting a little bit more coverage on a shorter quilt. That's not me. I'm always going full length, and I don't know if I'd ever go back from that, actually.
What about draft collars?
Draft collars are good. Most of the underquilts I have now have draft collars. I have noticed a difference, especially certain hammocks. It's a little bit more advantageous to have draft collars, I've noticed, because it fits snugger to the hammock. So, you know, full length, 20-degree draft collars, the Cadillac of underquilts from all these great companies out there.
Schill Bros 10% off your UGQ quilts.
Yeah.
We get nothing from that.
Yeah, we get nothing.
All right. Rounding this out, last part of the big three is the shelter. So I'll talk about tents, and you'll go with hammocks. Tents, here's all I'm going to say. If you're a beginner, stick to maybe a freestanding, maybe don't stick to a Dyneema tent. First, you should decide what size tent you want. If you're only ever going solo and you care a lot about weight, just get a one-person tent. One-person tents kind of blow. They're the lightest option, but they're not luxurious or roomy. We love the Z-Packs Duplex. We love the Z-Packs Altiplex. Dan Durston's got great tents. Big Agnes has got great freestanding tents. I'm a fan of the Z-Packs Altiplex. If you want to go super light, if you want something a little roomier, go with the Duplex. And the Durston double-walled tents are really good too. And if you're someone that's going in the winter, consider it a double wall tent. But other than that, you can't go wrong with a Dyneema tent. But you got to decide how much you want to spend and if you want non-freestanding or not.
All right, hammocks. Most popular hammock or most common hammock is a gathered in hammock right now. We've used Dream Hammock hammocks. We've used Dutchware hammocks. Both are great. I've used
War Bonnet hammocks.
Yeah, that's right. We've used War Bonnet as well. I would say we've used the Chameleon the most out of all the hammocks that we've owned. It's a great gathered in hammock. We like it because it has tons of different accessories. It's relatively lightweight, all this cool stuff you can buy for it. We also own the Banyan Bridge hammock, which is a fantastic hammock. It's just a little bit heavier, and I've broken it. I don't know if I broke it or what happened, but there's a little bit more points of potential failure, but it's super comfy. So if I'm making a recommendation, I'm right now I have to point people towards gathered in hammocks, even though I think.
What brand?
I'm going to go with Dutchware.
Okay. Homer.
Yeah.
And tarp.
Yeah, tarp. I mean, some type of Dyneema tarp, 12-foot.
Doors?
Oh,
you gotta tell people.
No doors.
No doors.
No
All right.
doors.
How do you securing the hammock to the tree?
I'm using probably Zing It on Dutchware stingers.
And how you doing the tie-outs?
Just Zing It.
Zing It?
Yeah.
No shock cord?
No shock cord. I'm using Zing It on like line locks. It's real easy.
We have some videos on that actually.
Yeah, you see, hammocks are like, it's just like everything else. There's a trade-off. Like the Banyan Bridge is, in my opinion, way more comfortable than the Chameleon.
Yeah,
but it's heavy, and I will say it's probably not as user-friendly because you got some sketchiness with tarps you got to learn too.
Yes,
and you got to carry a little bit more hardware. But in my opinion, it's way more comfortable, and I sleep better in it. But like, I still sleep great in the Chameleon. So,
yeah, that's true. Can't go wrong with the Chameleon.
Yep.
There you go. There you have it.
Yeah, that was good.
Big three.
I know.
Our thoughts on it, how we think, you should go about deciding what big three you get. We kind of went through our thoughts and everything, and hopefully that helps people watching this make more informed choices. That's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Trying to make a positive impact on the backpacking community.
Trying to empower you all with information.
Empower you all and make more educated decisions as a consumer.
Yes.
Yep. So that is it. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on your big three, what you think about big three in general, and we will see everybody on the next one.
Yep. See you later.